And the next person voted to be a cutie who sends their friends videos is you.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Thursday, March 28th, 2024. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Tass Mellis.
Podcast listeners, this one's for you.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, Matasha Hot Boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o.
Hey-yo. And last but not least, over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. Shout out to the stream team. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. We're less than 300 away from 100K. Play your part. Subscribe. Podcast listeners, leave us a 5-star rating and review. So many games on last night. We'll touch on a few of them. We got the up-down report, tweet of the night, but we also had a wedgie. Let's begin there. Wedgie number 53, coming in the final 5 seconds of the game. This was like a controversial, important wedgie. And, the refs also called it quickly. That thing didn't stick for very long. Kawhi with the block on Kelly Oubre Jr. going in the net. But they counted it. We had the jump ball. And then even more chaos ensued, which we'll get into. But Wedgie 53, this is amazing. We are on pace for 63. I'm not sure we've ever seen a number that high when it comes to the pace. So they keep coming.
Great to see one from Kawhi Leonard. That was directly from Kawhi Leonard's hand. Was it a foul? Who knows? But as you said, it slipped out real quick. I couldn't call it a wedgie immediately because I didn't know if the refs were just going to whistle it down, but they did, obviously. And to hear Mike Breen, the legend Mike Breen, call it a wedgie on the broadcast, that's something I'm going to be telling my kids, my grandkids about. Did you hear Mike Breen? He called that a friggin' wedgie.
He was on top of it.
That just slipped out.
It's awesome to see wedgie referenced in the AP report, ESPN's
Big
write-up
time.
of the game, because it again happened with 5 seconds to go. It's just awesome. It's fantastic.
The only place I would have liked to see it show up once again was in the referee pool report. They just said that the ball wedged into the backboard. Pretty close.
Yeah.
But, man, could you just imagine Josh Tiven saying the word wedgie? Legendary.
Wow.
See the guy? I don't even remember at this point, but I want to hear a referee say wedgie at some point.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. That'd be awesome. They start saying, refs admit they missed the wedgie call. They should have let the game continue. But no, let's get into that one. Clippers, Sixers, James Harden returned to Philly. Tass, you were on playback for this game. Got very entertaining, of course, down the stretch. And the refs after did admit they missed a foul on the 76ers' final drive in that loss to the Clips. Not that Kelly Oubre drive, one after the jump ball, where Kelly took it in, Paul George, a little verticality, and then Kawhi comes in with the block, but it was probably too late anyway. But they said they blew this one. That should have been called, because then we had Nurse storming the court to dispute the non-call. He needed to be restrained. Kelly Oubre Jr. jumping into the mix. He's pointing at every single official.
Oh, wow.
Go ahead and read some lips there. He's got the command hand. Apparently, that's the military term for that type of hand, the command hand. But holy crap, chaotic ending.
Chaotic.
So, your takeaways?
Yeah, I think when we look back at Kelly Oubre and what he did there, it definitely looked like Larry Sanders back in the day when he was with the Milwaukee Bucks, pointed at each referee. He clearly said, "You're a bitch, you're a bitch,
Yes.
you're a bitch," clearly.
Must be a big half-baked fan.
Yeah, you're okay if you've thrown that in there.
Yeah, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, you're all right, you're cool. No, he didn't like either one of the referees. He did apologize after the game. He didn't like that he did say that to each and every referee. I will say, though, because it stemmed from the wedgie, that play was a tip-off at 7 seconds remaining. And it was chaos.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard to call a foul at the end of the game where Paul George was drifting. He was moving in the air. But when I saw it, because it was a play that started at center court and then all of a sudden was underneath the court, underneath the rim, I thought, no, that wasn't a foul. He was jumping straight up, but he was jumping to a different location. You could call it a foul. That's definitely true. He was corrected by Kelly Oubre. You know, it's one of those where you're jumping from one point to another, but it looks like he was jumping straight up because Kelly Oubre hit his body. But it is the last few seconds. I'm an old guy. I like not seeing a foul in the last seconds, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so there's other points where they screwed this game up. That's for sure.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, within the final minute, multiple reviews. Obviously, the Wedgie with the wild jump ball there. 2 costly 76ers turnovers in the final minute. Kawhi hitting and ones a couple of times in the final minute.
Tyrese Maxey just fell down.
Yeah.
He literally just,
he just
fell down. The broadcasters were saying he slipped. He didn't slip on the floor. He literally just tumbled.
Yeah.
And that was monstrous.
Yeah.
That was a monstrous and one at the other end because of that.
What do you think about the non-call there? Do you sort of agree with Tass that you like to see that not called? You think Paul George was vertical enough and that Kelly's initiating contact and let them play? Or the Sixers and the refs, I guess, agreeing, maybe we didn't botch that one. What do you think?
If I was a Sixers fan, I want that foul call, and I don't want them talking about it afterwards. Like, yeah, we blew it. That's the part that really sucks. Like, who cares? Yeah, you did blow it. So now Sixers fans are going to hear the referee say we blew it and then see the last 2-minute report today saying we blew it. Doesn't matter. It's still an L for them.
Yeah.
But as a partial observer, I just flashed back to Indiana when Paul George was playing next to Roy Hibbert, and they used to tell you he was going up vertical, but he was jumping into guys every single time. So this has been around for some time. It's not really verticality if you jump into a guy, but if you put your arms up straight, it kind of looks like it. So tough call, but I thought just incredible stuff from Kawhi. This was a pretty weird game, I thought. Neither team could score that efficiently, but then in clutch time, this Clippers shot 67%. I think they went 6 for 9. I think the Sixers went 50%, but that includes the 2 misses there from Kelly Oubre at the end. And it was like, prior to that, the Clippers shot 42%. The Sixers shot 47%, but in the last 5 minutes, they were on fire until the very, very end. It felt like all accidents to the Sixers. Or for the Sixers, to me, every time they were scoring, there was like that play that got batted around, then Oubre just gets a wide open jumper in the middle of the lane. There was Buddy Hield catching a dribble handoff from, I don't even remember who it was, shooting a mid-ranger. Just weird stuff that the Sixers were able to keep scoring and keeping pace with the Clippers, who were doing actual offense, like running great plays, getting easy layups. So a funny, weird game, and a big win, I think, for the Clips.
It was nutty. And that play ended up being from Kawhi winning that tip at center court, but somehow the Sixers got it.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it went directly. Nick Batum was smart to jump in front of Paul George, but the Clippers should have easily won. That's Kawhi Leonard versus Kelly Oubre. I thought this game's over.
Right.
But somehow the Sixers were just, it was chaos. It was nutty. That play was nutty, and the last the last few plays were nutty to get them there, because the Clippers just haven't looked Clipper-like, and they didn't, and Kawhi didn't through the first 44 minutes of this game. They just looked bad. I just didn't recognize Kawhi Leonard. He just looked out of place. He was 7 of 19 in this game, somehow saved it at the end. Paul George, 7 of 18 in this game, somehow saved it at the end.
Yeah.
There's some weird stuff happening for this Clippers team that's trying to find themselves right now.
And it was Harden's first game back in Philly since the trade. 16 points, 14 assists, played nearly 40 minutes. What did you think of the reaction from the Philly crowd? You know, the boos in the introduction, boos there in the first quarter. It did seem to sort of peter out as the game went on and got nuttier, to use your words. Maybe you got nutty. The nut dust bowl on your mind. But yeah, what did you think of the Harden reception?
Harden was funny in how he commented about it. He said, I expected it. They don't know what it was about. And then he ended up saying, I don't even know why they're booing. I don't think they know. You ask them. Ask them. But they're Philadelphia fans, and that's why they booed. Yeah. They are Philadelphia fans. And so James Harden didn't do anything wrong to them, but he did demand a trade in the end. So I think that's acceptable, especially if you're in Philly.
They could have booed him harder. I thought he kind of got off easy compared to the way like they treat Ben Simmons when he comes back to town. Obviously a different scenario, but only slightly different. Like Harden wasn't there as long as Ben Simmons, and maybe not as huge of a disappointment his tenure there, but I thought he kind of, they were calm. I thought it was a mildly bad reception for James Harden, which I was expecting it to be brutality.
Yeah, it's a fair point. They were up 3-2 on the Boston Celtics last year, and they lost the series. I'd be booing. I wouldn't be booing. I don't like booing. But I mean, if you're a fan, why wouldn't you boo? I get it. Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on because there's so many games to talk about. Let's go to the Warriors overcoming Draymond Green's very early ejection to beat the Magic 101-93. We'll start at the beginning of this game because Draymond, he's ejected like 3:36 into the first quarter for disputing a foul call, not against him, but against Andrew Wiggins. And he, sort of bumped the referee to warrant the first one, obviously jawing with them and complaining. Okay, you're getting a tech. All right, relax. And then he just kept complaining. And Steph was sort of standing there, and some other Warriors, personnel and players, no one was really pulling him back, I thought, quickly enough. And the refs let him talk and talk and talk. And then just while they were finally sort of being separated, the official and Draymond, he wouldn't shut up.
No.
And the official said, okay, that's enough. It was like 45 seconds of complaining, I think, on the clock there, if you were timing it. So he got 2 techs and he's gone. And then Steph Curry's visibly upset. Now, in the end, we would have been leading the show with this game if the Warriors lose to the Magic. But they win. And, I guess in the end, it didn't really matter. But Draymond Green, we were told he was, taking classes and managing his emotions better, and maybe did for a while, but it's starting to rear its ugly head here again with the Patty Mills sort of choke job and then getting tossed right away here in this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Anthony Slater reported that the Warriors said, it's not like we don't expect Draymond to not get ejected again. It's bound to happen. I don't think he's had a flagrant foul since returning from his suspension or whatever they ended up calling it, but this was just crazy stuff from Draymond. Banchero was definitely fouled by Wiggins. That was a clear foul when Banchero's driving to the hoop. Then, like you're saying, he gets the first tech for walking up, touching, I think it was Jorge Acosta. He bumped him a little bit. That's a tech right there. But then they gave him the longest possible leash. I counted at least 7. What do you think I said? He was just yelling at him. What do you think I said? What do you think I said?
Yeah.
What do you think I said?
Yeah.
7 times. And then they allowed him to walk away, but then he turned and said, the P word to him, you can't say that.
Right.
So,
right.
Tossed him. He just didn't want to play. That's what it felt like. Was like, Draymond's like, this game isn't for me. He obviously wasn't tied into what the Warriors were trying to do, so he got kicked out. And he was lucky that Andrew Wiggins saved him.
Yeah, maybe it was a blessing in disguise in the end for Andrew Wiggins, because this was one of his better games without Draymond Green there. I think Draymond Green was probably disputing something else. I mean, I don't know, and I don't care. I don't think that matters, and I don't think the Warriors really cared either. As you said, they didn't jump to stop him, but if you're a Golden State Warrior at this point, what are you going to do? Are you going to jump in front of Draymond Green and try and stop him each and every time? Because, like you said, he got his first tee, and then he just absolutely would not stop. And he was okay getting ejected because, we talked about Kelly Oubre and what he said. He dropped the B word. But as you said, Trey, this guy dropped a bleep, bleep, bleep. I mean, it was a full-on bleep, bleep, bleep. And that's why he was ejected. He was basically asking to get ejected. And then when he walked to the bench, he just kept walking because he knew he got it. Yeah. He asked to get ejected. He got ejected. And again, I get why Steph was upset. I get why the Warriors were upset. What are you going to do? Are you going to get in there? Going to get involved? Dig yourself in there every single time? I mean,
how about one time?
What do you mean?
They could try to stop him one time. Steph was standing there and just let him keep talking.
He put his hand on Draymond's chest.
Okay, but at this point, you got to drag him away.
Oh, gosh. I wouldn't. I mean,
he didn't stop. The fear of getting punched by him.
I mean,
another good way to get him off the team.
Yeah, I thought he'd stop after the first tech. I just thought it would be over.
Why? Why would you think that? Well, have you watched him for a decade? Here's the crazy part. He's done this for a decade and generally would always get away with it. More times than not.
Yeah, but
he seemed to be allowed to complain and bitch to a ref longer than most guys. Seth Partnow, great tweet last night after that. The yellow card cloak of invisibility might be wearing off with Draymond Green. And after all the stuff that happened earlier in this year with officials and stuff like that, shorter leash. It's like, okay, come on. And even that, we're sitting here going, man, they let him go for a while, but he wouldn't stop.
Yeah.
And you're right, Warriors players and personnel, they didn't do a great job of trying to remove him from that. You're saying, what can you do? Maybe you can't even contain him.
I mean, Curry did put his hand on his chest, and Dre didn't stop. He wanted to call him a name. He literally wanted to call the referee a name, and Chris Paul got in there and said, no, he didn't do anything. He was sort of walking away while he called him a name. I mean, it's fine to eject the guy. He was basically asking for it. I just don't know why it took... Usually, I think when you see it with Draymond Green, it's like later on in the game. He keeps going.
Oh, yeah, this is early in the game even for him. This is one of the fastest ejections ever.
He usually does get the first one early, and then he feels like he has a super long leash to kind of go over the edge for the rest of the game, and he did, but it only lasted for another minute.
Yeah.
They gave him the leash. They would have... it would have been easy for Draymond to get the first tech, yell, "What do you think I said?" 7 times at him, and then walk away.
Yes.
And they would have let him play for the rest of the game.
So he just wouldn't want to play last night.
He was ready to go.
Yeah, 4th ejection of the season for Draymond Green. First in a while, of course, but yeah, they talked about it after the game. Again, the Warriors going to win this game. Wiggins huge. Clay hit a big shot. He didn't have a great game, but hit a big shot late. Gave an emphatic night-night to the Magic crowd there. He was telling everybody to go to sleep as he went back down the sidelines. But man, they needed this win because the Rockets will get to win again. But man, if they had lost this game. Holy crap. I was almost hoping after the ejection, ooh, get your popcorn out because this is going to be spicy if they lose this. Especially with the way he reacted.
Yeah.
He
doesn't react like that.
No.
I mean, he's got experience in this scenario.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
And he usually keeps his emotions under check.
Right.
And then after the game, Anthony Slater was talking to him in the locker room. And there's a great clip. It's like 1.5 minutes long. And he's basically like, at this point in the season, with what I put into the game and what I've been trying to do for this team to carry us to just have a shot in the play-in tournament, unacceptable.
Yeah, and I think that's what Steph was going on about with Anthony Slater. He said, we need him. We need him. And there is some sort of agreement, I think, with Draymond Green that we won't get in your face to stop you at this point because you went through the training to be there, and there is some sort of agreement, I guess. And I guess that's a respect for Draymond Green, that we're not going to push you out of the way. But of course, Steph was upset. And when he did that, running down the entire floor, sleeping, you've never seen him do that. But then he went to the bench and kicked 3 chairs. He was just almost excited. I don't know what to call that, but he was emotional. This whole thing is emotional. It's got to feel like this is the last Warriors run here. This is the last year. It sure feels like they've got to do something about that. But if someone's going to make it good, it is Andrew Wiggins. It was a great game for him. He did get the ball where he kind of ran the offense a little bit when Chris Paul was sitting, and I think Steve Kerr was doing that on purpose to try and get Wiggins going. He had a big bucket late. He had a big block on Wagner, and he got it done. The Magic, they kind of screwed up at the end as well. They did not look good. Cole Anthony basically he broke the shot clock there. There was a shot clock violation, and Paolo Banchero's 3 early in his shot clock attempt. They didn't have good offensive game and a good offensive possessions to end this game either.
No. So 101-93, Warriors get it done here. Good job by their other bigs, I thought, in slowing some of the Magic guys. Obviously Looney, TJD, you said Wiggins there.
Yeah, Trey Jackson-Davis was monster.
They were
great.
really, really good because Paolo had a rough game, and a lot of it was because of them. Even Gary Payton II, who obviously takes bigger guys. Good job defensively. And then, Steph hitting the 3 and Wiggins hitting some clutch baskets. Weird game there.
2 other little things here. I saw Brandon Pajemski hit the hook shot again.
Yeah.
It was deep. It was like a 12-foot hook shot or something like that. And then I think Steve Kerr is very funny. Since that loss to Minnesota where Steph Curry came back late in the game, post-game, Steve Kerr said, if you really think those 2 minutes made the difference, I completely disagree. Since that, he brought Curry back 2 minutes early in the fourth quarter against the Miami Heat, and then he started the fourth quarter against the Orlando Magic. So I do think it was those 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
You should play your best guy more often in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they have no choice at this point
Yeah.
because the Rockets stay hot.
Nice.
Let's pivot to them. Jalen Green scored 37. Rockets beat the Thunder. They're beating good teams here now. No SGA, of course, but still, their 10th straight victory. The most surprising winning streak of the season is reached double digits. I think the Celtics had the longest win streak of the season at 11, so Houston flirting with that here. But once again, Jalen Green, spectacular. TK, your thoughts, your tease.
Why don't we call him M. Jalen Green? Because this was a big-time performance, and he made so many big-time shots. He hit the 3 with a minute left in overtime. Rockets play-by-play man Craig Ackerman yelled, "Tough shot!" 5 times. Then he had that sick layup that was basically the dagger in OT. But my favorite play from Jalen Green on the whole night, the dish to Jabari Smith for the corner 3 to put Houston up 2 at the end of regulation. Jalen had been cooking. He's figured out the reads a little bit more. They converged on him, kicks it wide open to the corner. Jabari knocks it down. He would go on to hit another one, I think, in overtime as well. So I just thought that was really sweet from Jalen Green because he could just be getting numbers. He could easily just be putting up 30-point games right now, but he's playing to win, and he's actually making plays that make sense for his team. That was incredible.
Yeah, and you saw Udoka comment exactly on that after the game. It's one thing this guy's averaging 30 points per game here in March, but Udoka's talking about Jalen Green's growth in his rebounding, his playmaking, just his poise, just becoming a little bit more of a leader out there, and it's obviously resulting in victories here. But this guy is on fire in the month of March. Is it a Mickey Mouse March? Yeah, it might be, but they're in wins. So it's one thing to get all those crazy stats in a bunch of losses. They're actually winning and trying to get into the play-in spot. And I love that they're talking about it now. Like, hell yeah, we want in. Mm-hmm. We want to get in that thing. Because they were continuing to comment on that after the game. But what do you think?
It's going to be a race for sure with the Golden State Warriors. They do play them one more time again.
That's huge.
Although the Golden State Warriors have the tiebreak, so it's like they're sort of 2 games up on them here. And they have more road games than home games, and it's weird because the Golden State Warriors are better on the road. They're good there, 20-15, while the Rockets also have a bunch of road games where they are bad. The majority of their road games or rest games are on the road, and they're 11-24 on the road. So, a problem. That being said, Jalen Green looked like a different player this last month or whatever, 6 weeks, I guess. But that was the best Jalen Green game of his career, I assume. Here in year 3 here, his body is just so in control. He can get to wherever he wants on the floor. And I just loved even that missed shot that could have won the game at the end of regulation. He got through 4 guys to get to the rim and lay it in with his left. That's 4 guys on this OKC team, yes, without Shai, but who cares? Their defense was still phenomenal, and Jalen Green was carving it up because he's been athletic since he got there. From the G League Ignite, this guy's going to be the best player ever to play for the G League Ignite. Lock it in. When there's a Wikipedia page on the G League Ignite, it's going to mention this guy because he is so athletic. We all knew that from the day he was drafted, but he's just gotten so smart at navigating. And if he could do that month after month after month, the threes are better. It doesn't have to be amazing. But, like, how are you going to stop this guy? I mean, he is just so freaking athletic. And the defense was awesome in this game. You know, he was really, really good on that end.
It's getting overlooked a little bit here because it's all Jalen Green talk when you're looking at the Rockets and this win streak. But Amen Thompson, another awesome game. 25 points, 15 boards. He's like the first Rocket guy to go 25-15 since Yao Ming. This is a Rook doing this, and he's been playing extremely well over this stretch too. So this is fun. Was this a tactical loss here from OKC? Saw people throwing that out. The idea of like, hey, let's give the Rockets, give them a little bone here. We'd rather play them potentially in some sort of 1-8 matchup, which is in play, than maybe a Warriors team. Do you buy that at all or no?
They were playing pretty hard.
Yeah, they were.
They went to overtime.
Yeah, I guess the tactical part being sitting SGA, but for the quad injury. I think it's more tongue-in-cheek than anything. But yeah.
And Josh Giddey went off again, 31 points. The Rockets weren't playing a very good defense on him, but I thought the only 2 good Rockets were Jalen Green and Amen Thompson. He was awesome. Yeah, he was so good, and then he had clutch shots from Jabari Smith and Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, some big ones.
Dylan Brooks was killing me. I was listening to the Thunder broadcast. He shot an absolute brick with about 3 minutes left. They said he shoots a heavy shot.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
That is exactly what he does.
Just like Lou Dort. I was like, okay, if you're going to say the same thing about your own team, then fair enough, because those guys do shoot the ball very heavy, because when they miss, it's a hard miss. But then he airballed the next shot he took. Dylan Brooks did, but it went right to Amen Thompson, who dribbled into a mid-ranger. Then he had a tough take for the lefty layup, blocked J-Dub at the rim, and hit another 2 threes to start overtime. It was like full Brooks experience.
The full Brooks. And how about Giddey hitting a shot from his ass?
That was weird.
Getting the kind bounce. I mean, this was down the stretch, too. This wasn't in the first half. There's like 4 minutes to go, and Giddey gets the ball, again, a few feet ahead of the free throw line, and shoots it from his butt. Mm-hmm. How many times has that happened in NBA history?
A booty shot?
A booty shot.
Yeah,
Has it?
We talked about Jordan Poole not doing it a few weeks ago.
That's right.
And then this was, Josh Giddey was right in the key.
Yeah.
I mean, so it wasn't a super long shot.
No.
It was just like, it was a horse shot.
You know what?
Like, I'm going to hit it from the
He was
butt.
open.
There was defense there, too. Yeah, like they were around. That was tough.
I can't remember it. Maybe somebody's got the clip out there. There's been great passes from guys on their ass. You know, I think Isaiah Thomas has a famous one, if I recall correctly. I'm sure there's other ones too, but actually shooting it and scoring. from your butt. Impressive stuff there.
Very impressive.
Great game. This is a very entertaining game.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, look. Sign me up for this 1-8 matchup, hypothetical 1-8. This will be a fun series with the way that Houston's playing.
I thought it peaked after Isaiah Joe's monstrous dunk.
Huge too.
Lefty dunk. And then Josh Giddey hit one from his butt. And then we saw Jalen Green just go off.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a lot that happened in this game.
Yeah, that pretty reverse layup there to ice the game was awesome. And the step back on Dort before that, huge. Heavy shots. A lot of people don't know this. Canadians use bigger balls. It's like the CFL. So our basketballs are heavier. Brooks, Dort, on.
Isn't that what Derrick Rose did? He shot with like a
heavy ball?
Like a medicine ball?
Yeah, basically like a medicine ball.
That's what Steven Adams practices with, probably. All right, moving on. One more game we'll throw in here. Because of a return, Mitchell Robinson back for the Knicks. McBride scored 29 as the Knicks now are in the third seed because you had the Cavs losing to Charlotte and the Knicks absolutely hammering the Raptors. TK, you wanted to touch on this one.
Yeah, Cavs lost, Magic lost, Pacers lost, and the Bucks were coming off a loss, so a great night for New York. They also get Mitch Robinson back. This was an easy win. The Knicks scored 80 in the first half. They hit 12 threes, so we're not really talking about the game, but it is interesting that Mitchell Robinson was back. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 13 minutes. Had one sick block where he almost just grabbed it after, I don't even remember who shot it, but he blocked it and then he grabbed it. Nonetheless, the question for me is that Mitchell Robinson was the starter for the Knicks before he went down with an injury. He was out for a long time, like 4 months.
Yeah.
And Hartenstein has been awesome since he's been a starter. They play very similar, right? Like they both roll to the rim, they both hit the glass, they both play defense, but I think Hartenstein's defense has been a little surprisingly great this season. You're hearing him getting in the mix for all defense teams right now, and he's definitely a better passer than Mitchell Robinson, but a lot of times coaches like to give the guy who was hurt his spot back. I don't think it's going to happen because the chemistry with the Knicks starting lineup is too good right now.
Yeah.
So I assume that Hartenstein will continue to be the Startenstein. But we shall see because the Knicks, they're getting healthier and healthier. Sure, they don't have OG who had a nasty-looking bump on his elbow. I don't know if you saw the picture, but that thing looked
gross.
Like he had an alien growing in his joint. And then Julius Randle, we're still waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitch looked good for his 12 minutes. You mentioned there's an awesome block. He put it on the floor one time. Mitchell Robinson putting it on the floor with a layup. It looked different. I mean, this game from not only him, but from Deuce McBride. He had 9 threes in this game, tying his career high for 29 points. This Knicks team is endless. It really is endless. The signings that they've made for good deals. They signed Deuce McBride to a multi-year deal for nothing, essentially. When it comes to NBA money, nothing. But he looks so good. Jalen Brunson is not making enough money for what he does game to game to game. Dante DiVincenzo looks like a great deal, and he can hit freaking 10 threes. I don't know what's going on in that Knicks front office and Leon Rose, what kind of deals he's making on the side, if he's making any. But he is telling players, you can even pay for OG Anunoby now come this offseason because you're underpaying so many freaking guys. They have done a great job. 145 points. Obviously, it's against the Raptors, who are missing every starter is sitting there, slouched and sad, and they should be because they can't play. But you see Scotty Barnes sitting there with Manuel Quickly, obviously RJ Barrett in the scenario there, and Jakob Poeltl ain't playing. Everybody's not playing on that team.
The tank is humming right now, man. That's the 12th straight loss for the Raptors, who are on the razor's edge here of keeping their pick with the 6th worst record in the league. If it's number 7, it goes to San Antonio, but it's bang bang. They are absolutely horrible without their guys. I mean, that's just their second 40-point loss at home in the last week? Didn't they just get hammered by the Pelicans? By a huge amount. So they are gonna listen to this. I saw Zilla write this out or paint the picture. Raps have a 46% chance of keeping the pick. They're 1 game worse than the Grizzlies. So if they stay worse than Memphis, if the Raptors finish better than the Grizzlies, so the Grizzlies have the worst record, the chances of keeping their pick for Toronto drops to 32%. So, decent little percentage change there, 46 to 32 in keeping the pick, depending where they finish, if they're top 6 in the league being bad or if they're 7th in that slot. So
yeah, and the Grizzlies are getting healthy, which the Raptors got to be excited about. Brandon Clark making his appearance yesterday. Ochai Agbaji, hopefully he gets better. He took a bad fall.
Yes.
So hopefully he'll be all right.
Nut dust standings quickly here. Brandon Miller scored 31. career high 7 threes as the Hornets beat the Cavs, who are obviously injured themselves. Cam Thomas scored 38 points to help the Nets snap the Wizards' 3-game run. Oh, man. I think it may have been over if the Wizards had won last night because the Wolves beat Tass's Pistons to hit the 50-win mark for the fifth time, in franchise history. So Hornets win. TK's, he's clear. He's good. I mean, I think you've actually maybe even secured it. Well, maybe not yet, but it's close enough. And then Wizards Pistons remain unchanged. I'm still 2 games up on you, Tass. In the Nut Dust Bowl standings, do you guys want to touch on any of the other games from last night? I mean, you had the Suns beating the Nuggets.
The Suns beating Nuggets, that's great for them.
They've done well against
I was
them.
taking in too many games. I don't know how they did it.
Kevin Durant's how they did it.
Yeah. There's no Jamal Murray for obviously Denver right now. There's that as well. But this is why we say, if any team looked like they could maybe put up a good fight against Denver, it could be the way this Phoenix team is built. We've said it time and time again. I don't know if we need to go over it again. Your Bulls got to win, a much-needed win, to snap their losing streak.
I mean, somewhat much needed.
Well,
they're sticking in 9th no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to, I guess, go into a play-in game on a bad run. You want to get those dubs still. So anyway, They dominated the Pacers. DeJounte Murray, 30 points as the Hawks beat the Blazers. LeBron, triple-double. Lakers beat the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And then Devin Vassell had 31. Spurs beat the Jazz.
Yeah, the Blazers starting 5 rookies again. No big deal. Delano Banton had a beautiful dunk. He was soaring on that dunk. Did you see that?
I did. Now that, to me, is a Mickey Mouse march.
Oh, yeah.
Delano Banton. Have you seen what this guy's been
31.
doing recently? This guy's cooking. Now that, a lot more Mickey Mouse to me than I believe Jalen Green here because some of those are coming in victories and he's getting better. He looks better. But anyway.
Delano Banton's a 2nd-round pick. I mean, he's not expected to be going for 30 points like Jalen Green is expected to be a lot better. Delano Banton, to do that, that's good for his future. I mean, just to stick around the league.
Sure.
But that was a beautiful dunk. There's just so many good dunks.
Yeah.
Isaiah Joe, Brandon Miller had a beautiful dunk. Your Kobe White had a beautiful dunk.
Sorry about your face, Doug. Andre Drummond had a big one.
Yeah.
LeBron caught a noop.
Yeah.
Coolest play maybe was Anthony Edwards doing 100 pivots in the lane.
Oh, that was good.
A lot of people say it's 3 seconds. It was 4 seconds. He was in there a while. That's why you don't usually see that many spin moves in the lane.
That's a good point. I actually didn't even think about that.
I saw it come through. I was like, wait a second. This clip is 6 seconds long. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, interesting.
But it looks smooth.
The referee's going to whistle that too many seconds in.
Those were all good, but I'm sorry, Josh Giddey scored from his ass.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why it was awesome.
Play of highlights last
Gary
night.
Payton second had a nice pack on a big block, huge block. There's a lot of good stuff. Good stuff. Hold on, Rui. Rui commenting after the game, after beating the Memphis Grizzlies, he was asked, "You're just so good in this building. Last year in the playoffs, you had 29 in game 1, you had 20 in game 2, 32 tonight in Memphis." He just started laughing. He's like, "I guess I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really a big fan of this city." Well,
wow, really?
Dirty. I guess he said this.
So the idea being like there's nothing else to do, so I guess I'll, really get locked in tonight, hit the gym early.
Crazy.
What else am I going to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Go to the giant Bass Pro Shops? Is that
There's
there?
a few of those.
The pyramid.
Yeah, right.
It's still a pyramid. That's where the Grizzlies used to play, but now you can go fishing.
Is that where the dude got naked and jumped in the aquarium?
That was a Bass Pro Shops. I don't know if that was the Memphis one. Uncertain.
Rui can go have fun there. Yeah. If it was, just jump in the pool, man.
Have you ever been to that one, TK?
The pyramid? I never have. No.
You want to make a trip?
Yeah, drive there, drive back.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, maybe it's just one road all the way to Memphis, I heard.
Just take the right one. Next year, when the Grizzlies are good again, maybe for a Bulls game or a Raptors game or even, maybe even a playoff game if they're back in the mix, we'll drive to Memphis for one of those games and we'll go to the Bass Pro Shops.
I love it.
Okay, good. Lock it in. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into the up-down report. What's the easiest choice you can make? Booking a window seat instead of sitting in the middle like a numbskull? Yep. How about subscribing to the No Dunks podcast over all those other NBA shows? That's a no-brainer. What about selling with Shopify? Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling sexy St. Jeff candles or offering custom kicks, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Wherever, whatever, Shopify and you together. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And you sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Check this stat too. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. What a flex. And Shopify's the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. What I love about Shopify is how, no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Their award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow with Shopify. You already know. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/nodunks. That's all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/nodunks now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/nodunks. All right, I'm seeing Hootski here in the stream team live on YouTube saying, grab an extra ticket and I'll meet you in Memphis.
Meet you in Memphis.
That's why I asked and said that. I was hoping somebody would do it. Good stuff. Okay, let's get into the Up-Down Report.
Prepare your tubis. It's the Up-Down Report.
Yeah, I got a few random questions for you guys. You guys are going to tell me whether you're thumbs up or thumbs down on these particular things. First one, let's go back to OKC star Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He sat out last night's game against the Rockets due to a right quad contusion. Now, SGA says he's been playing through the injury since taking a knee to that quad about a week ago. He's had an unbelievable season, averaging basically 36-6, but the way he's played recently, and maybe the injury now, are you up or down, Tass, on SGA's MVP chances to really pull this off and win it? Up or down?
Well, I don't think the injury changes it really at all. He can play through it, and he has been playing through it, and he has been playing phenomenally well. That's why I was a little surprised. It was the night before. He had a great game against Pelicans, because he always does. That's what he does. That being said, it's probably smart to let him sit a game or two. He would be playing if it was the playoffs, because he's that tough. But if you already had Jokic at the top of your MVP ballot, you're still going to have Jokic at the top. I don't think it really changes anything. And Jokic it's phenomenal. I'm still surprised to see Jokic at the top of everybody's ballot, that he is going to be the MVP 3 times in 4 years. I just did not expect that, just because it seems like everybody votes on what they always vote on. They just are. They need a new guy, and Shai would be that new guy. But I don't think it changes anything.
Trey?
Yeah, I think Tess is right. I'm also down on this just because it feels like it's Jokic's award right now. There's hardly any MVP discussion. It feels like from
I agree.
Day to day on talk shows, that kind of stuff. It's just kind of assumed that Jokic is going to win it. I think it's because the Nuggets have been so good in the second half of the season. Obviously, Jokic is still the best player in the league, and once they came back from the break, they decided to be the best team in the league. So how can you vote against him, I really think? And then you look at the numbers. I think Shai is down to 4th on Basketball Reference's award tracker, and that's just like pure numbers. He's become a little bit less efficient recently. Ever since the rule changes, he's lost 2 free throws and 2 points per game. Not totally surprising. His efficiency numbers have taken a little bit of a hit as well. So I wonder if he'll even finish second now, because Giannis outplayed him in the Thunder-Bucks game. The Bucks won that one. I don't know how much of an effect that has on people, but the Bucks are trending upwards. Oklahoma City, they haven't gone anywhere, but I think that Giannis has at least made up ground on Shai to possibly challenge him for second in MVP.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I was going to word this question as his chances to finish in the top 3, because I do believe we don't think he's going to win it, but like now you start to wonder, Giannis, Luka, there's still the Tatum equation, if they're a 65-win team. Will Shai get enough votes? I mean, didn't we just have Shaq saying he's my MVP, and he went through his reasons. But his numbers have dipped since that injury in Utah. He's only averaging 22.5 points per game since the game where he hurt his quad. The numbers are down at the free throw line sort of over the last couple of months. Yeah,
he was 23 and 24, and then there was a 12 in there against the Bucks where he didn't have to play the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's right.
Blown out.
Overall, though, like 2 or 3 of the worst games of his season, this is how good he's been, is my point here, have come in the last 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's stagnated a little bit here. It hasn't helped his MVP chances. So, I'm just curious to see if he finishes top 3. There are going to be a ton of votes, especially with the Mavs are timing this nicely with Luka and Giannis and, again, Tatum. It doesn't matter. He's had an incredible year. One of the greatest years, obviously, for a Canadian of all time. Nash has the MVPs, but this is just unreal stuff. 36-6, and he might finish 4th. 5th, I don't know, maybe, in an MVP. It's insane, the numbers these guys are putting up. All right, moving on. The latest episode of LeBron James and JJ Redick's podcast, Mind the Game, dropped yesterday, titled The Hardest Actions to Guard in the NBA. All right? You can bet your ass those guys were still drinking wine. The main plays they discussed, the Warriors' post splits. Talked a lot about the inverted pick and roll. There's talk of ghost screens. I mean, off the top of this thing, we had like 15 minutes of JJ Redick going through, names for plays and terms and stuff like that. Up or down? I don't know if you had a chance to listen yet or watch, or up or down on episode 2 of Mind the Game pod.
I'm up. This is what I listen to when I'm pumping iron. Sharpening my mind, sharpening my body at the same time.
Damn.
I didn't know there was a thing called a Varejao screen. I thought it was just called flipping the screen, but I love the name for it.
Yeah.
Love to hear about Anderson Varejao back in the day. I also love split post action. That's what our college used to run all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Great stuff. Not surprising coming from Steve Kerr, who ran a lot of that in the triangle with Chicago back in the day. But yeah, this is great. Like, there's stuff that in here that you hear from LeBron that, like, you're never going to forget. Like, anytime a team blitzes Luka Doncic, you're going to be like, why are you doing that? They don't blitz LeBron. LeBron said they shouldn't do it against Luka. I believe LeBron.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of stuff to me is like, wow, you're right, man. I'm with you. Like, it was crazy when JJ's running down like the list of players who've been blitzed the most often. Yeah. He's like, LeBron, you've been blitzed the most often in 2013-14 and never since. He's like, they know they can't do it against me because I can throw every pass and I've seen everything. That's the same with Luka. Yeah. But teams just haven't wisened up yet.
No, it was the other night that it should have been done against Luka. He's playing the Sacramento Kings. As soon as they throw the double, it's over. I mean, it's over. You can't do that against Luka Doncic, against great players. I got to ask about Anderson Varejao. Did LeBron say that because he was his old teammate? Maybe he's just like.
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question because it was JJ explaining it like in his monologue where he was going through all the different terms. Basically, the terms we're going to reference when we talk about it a little bit later. So probably, like, that's the only thing that really makes sense.
Yeah.
Why else would it be named after Anderson Varejao?
I did enjoy that. JJ Redick, just him in the camera explaining everything before you hear all these basketball guys go into it. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because all these terms that get thrown out there. It's good to know it before.
And they wisely, even throughout the podcast, especially on YouTube, obviously, they would put it back up. They're referencing a particular screen, a particular play. They would then put like what JJ had already talked about at the start of the show.
You'd see
sort
it.
of back up. Yes.
And
they did include clips in this. I think there's a role out there for some just enterprising, smart kid that's good at like whipping up graphics. They should be doing this and sending it to the Mind the Game team. Like, it would look cool if you could have, instead of JJ with literally a piece of paper and a poorly drawn key, like showing you the plays, it'd be really neat if there was like a visual, like a graphic element that someone put together. But
of course,
I'm nitpicking here.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. The graphics got to improve. I mean, it's like Robert Mays and the Athletic Football Show. I mean, what are we doing here? That's what they did.
Yeah.
They did it. They do it so beautifully. You see the little
it helps.
logos.
It helps you learn.
Yeah, of course.
Because these guys are talking high level basketball here, and like even for sickos, you're like, hold on, what? Well, they're saying this when you're trying to visualize it, so it helps. Some people are just visual learners too, to sort of see it while they're talking about it would take it to the next level.
You would have to watch this, I think. I can't imagine just listening to this. I think that would be hard to listen to and understand what's actually going on.
Yeah. Are you watching while you're pumping iron?
Yeah. Move the weight bench in front.
Nice.
Yeah.
Man, JJ, that was cool when you got that 4-point play. I also love that JJ just throws in like highlights from his career. Sometimes you run this action and it's me coming around the screen. I hit a 3-pointer, get fouled, make the 4-point play for the game winner.
I'm interested to see where this goes now.
Bron's going to do that.
Totally, man.
Yeah. Interested to see where this goes now, though, because these two were recorded at the same time.
Yeah.
Obviously, LeBron is playing basketball still right now.
Yeah.
Don't forget that part. So, like, when's the next one? Has it been recorded? Where is it happening? You know, JJ talks at one point, like, I'll bring the wine next time because something had happened where they were going to have a recording session and then it got bumped to, I believe, you know, LA, and that's why LeBron had the wine. Anyway, it's like, I want to keep this up, right? I want this every week, but will we get it every week? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
They recorded both at the same time, so they drank wine through both recordings, I assume. You know,
I thought JJ was getting a little red in the face.
Oh, Redick.
Yeah, a little bit.
I liked the off the camera dialogue to start.
Yeah, that was fun.
This video where JJ Redick said, "You're an 85, right?" To LeBron James, like, you were born in 1985 or in 84. You're an 84, right? You're an 84, and LeBron confirmed, and then they started talking about Mark Dagnott.
Yeah.
With OKC.
Oh, he's sick, bro.
Man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's so funny.
Is LeBron, when he gets an NBA team, just going to hire all of these Thunder people?
LeBron,
like front office, coaches, maybe get some players? Like, he loves them.
Yeah. He said he's on his shit. to confirm exactly what he said about Dagnott. Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. And then he said, somebody told him that they're rolling. And he goes, "Oh, we're rolling? Okay, all right, that's cool."
All right, I didn't say anything that's going to get me in trouble.
Yeah, we're good.
There was one YouTube comment that caught my eye under this episode. And here's the gist. I'm paraphrasing a little bit. But it went, music documentaries, instructional videos, etc. are generally about master composers and musicians breaking down what makes music great, the structure, the arrangements, the harmony, and so on. This podcast is the equivalent to that for hoops. Hearing actual players, and then masters, really, in LeBron's case, break down the game and analyze it. The art of basketball. Great comment. Watching it going, yeah, this is sort of what this is like. You see a lot of these things in, you know, I'm not a diehard music fan where I'm breaking down arrangements, but I know that's a whole genre of YouTube videos and stuff like that. This is what this is for basketball. And people roll their eyes at it and they go, okay, these guys, these know-it-alls, they're a little pompous. Maybe it's not entertaining to you. That's fine. There's a million other podcasts that you can obviously get your GOAT debate from. But this is, I mean, if you are a basketball fan or you want to learn more about basketball, you're learning in this. There's no way you're not. Because you're just like, they're breaking it down. Mm-hmm. So it's cool. Anyway, I thought it was a good comment.
It's like what I brought up about the Athletic Football Show. I'm not a football geek by any means,
right.
But then you see it, and it looks cool. I said Robert Mays breaks down all the plays. It is Nate Tice who breaks down the plays. Jerome sent me a message and said it is Nate Tice, and that's true. Right. But it is the two of them as a team. Mm-hmm. And it's all about being a team in football and in basketball, I guess.
Sure.
It is.
That's a good comparison, though.
Yeah.
And there's athletic soccer podcasts that do an incredible job doing it as well, especially with the illustrative part. So, anyway, mind the game. When's the next one? When's it drop? It's it? Two episodes.
Well,
oh, boy.
I was just looking up ESPN's national TV schedule. There's not a Clippers or Lakers game on the schedule right now.
This is my concern. I think they're going to have to wait till the offseason to record some, and then they really should just sit down and record like 100 of them.
Pod day.
Just they're trashed by the end of it. Drinking a million wine everywhere.
So you're saying there's nothing on the ESPN, so they should make them? Like, they have time?
Well, I'm just saying there's no... Like, JJ isn't going to be calling a game in Los Angeles where it's easy to just get together and record some episodes.
Yeah. He's on the finals broadcast this year, right?
Right.
So he's going to have to be in the booth doing playoff games, I assume. I don't know. I'm concerned. Hey, Gallagher, what's the schedule? Let us know. Next one here.
Gallagher.
Funny tweet from Dave McMenamin last night. He noticed that the 2024 NBA Finals branded basketball were being used by the Grizzlies during warm-ups. So you see the pic here on YouTube. I mean, there it is, 2024 Finals logo on the Wilson ball. And Dave added, sometimes you got to see it to believe it, with a question mark. Are you up or down on the Grizzlies using a 2024 Finals ball?
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, you're
fake
fine.
Fake it till you make it. Why do they even have these?
I don't know.
That's a weird part to me. We're just shipping them out. See how they dribble. Let us know. Get back to us with feedback.
Does every team have a few of these? Like, I don't know. Do you have to send out the 2024 Finals balls to every team near the start of the season, going, it might be you. You might be there. Got to have some to every team, so we're not playing favorites. I don't know, but you're up on it.
Yeah, of course I'm up on
Okay.
it. I mean, it's nice to have them around. It's nice to have anything from previous seasons around. I've got these little courts that are actually wood from the 2011 All-Star game.
Right.
That's where the wood is from. I've got these little courts. They're Canadian floors. They're the Raptors and Grizzlies, and from the original NBA season, right? In the 40s.
What?
I thought you just said it was from the 2011
Yeah, but then
All-Star.
they're remade. That wood comes from the 2011. It's actual NBA floor. It's actual NBA floor.
Okay, I got that part.
But they produce the courts with previously used floor. I mean, that's what they do. I don't know. It's fine. I do find it weird on the Wilson logo how it's got all these like tracks on it.
Oh,
like
little
all
design elements.
design,
Yeah.
That is weird.
Yeah, there you can buy a lot of Wilson balls with that inlay there, whatever you want to call it. Different colors, different patterns. Like you can put a lot there. I'm sure maybe you can customize them now. For all I know, I don't know.
Get it stamped.
It's just design.
Little no dunks. We could put no dunks in there.
What is it exactly? Look like
I
belts?
don't know. It's just like
Is it the net?
But then it's not.
It looks like marbling to me.
marbling. That's sort
Yeah.
of what it looks like to me too.
Look like little knots.
I
Like
just
on the eye.
I
you
just
know?
played with I guess it was maybe somebody brought it, but it was a Wilson ball at that run at State Farm on the weekend, and that Wilson was like a bright blue, so it really popped. Grisham bought one right away. He literally on his phone just bought one right away. $80, I think. I guess that's not bad.
Yeah, that's the going rate.
This
That ball looks like it's never been dribbled. The one that Dave McMenamin took a picture of.
said
Look
they
at
were
the
using
pebbling
it.
on it. Look at the pebbling. It's too intense.
Too nice?
Yeah, it's way too nice.
Well, maybe they send these to some teams, use them in warm-ups at the very least, send them back so we can use them in the finals.
Maybe so.
And they're weathered, right? Final one. College superstar Caitlin Clark has garnered a $5 million offer from the Big Three Basketball League. Ice Cube confirmed they extended the offer, called Clark, quote, a generational athlete who can achieve tremendous success in the Big Three. He said this on Twitter. She's getting ready to obviously, well, she's still playing here in March Madness, but then eventually going to the WNBA. Up or down on Caitlin Clark taking this $5 million to play in the Big Three? Up or down, Trey?
I guess I'm going down because I don't think she's going to join the Big Three.
Okay.
But I am going up because literally on yesterday's show, I asked if the Big Three still exists. And hours later,
Yeah.
they were in the news. So good stuff, I guess, from Ice Cube because he's likely not going to actually be paying out $5 million. But look at the publicity. People are aware of the Big Three.
Headlines
once again.
left and right.
That's right.
Left and right.
I am glad that he brought up the Big Three because we're also putting together our best NBA assistant coaches teams.
Yeah.
And Leandro Barbosa, who I would put on my all NBA assistant coach team, plays in the Big Three. Found that out yesterday.
All right. Okay.
That's pretty, so I've got an advantage with my all NBA assistant coach or whatever we're creating. I'm up on Ice Cube offering this, and if Caitlin Clark decides, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to play 8 games before the WNBA season. It's literally 8 games for $5 million.
Yeah,
It's
do it.
$625,000 per game. What's the worry? That she would get injured, I suppose. Yes.
Yeah.
But
That's the worry.
But Ice Cube has done awesome things. I mean, he said, with our offer, Caitlin Clark can make history and break down even more barriers for women athletes. Nancy Lieberman's a coach. Lisa Leslie is a coach. He's obviously aware of the power of women playing the game, and it would be weird, I suppose, if she did accept it in the end.
I'd be watching Big Three games.
It would be good for people watching. And
I'd at least tune in. I got to see this for sure.
Well, she'd be
I'd watch a
awesome.
highlight.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It could. She could, in theory, if she did take him up on this offer, play before the WNBA. The draft is on April 15th. She's going to be going to Indiana, who have the number 1 pick. The WNBA's highest rookie pay last season was approximately $75,000. So significantly less than $5 million. Now I think she will make more than that, and she's boosted by all of her deals with Nike, Buick,
State Farm.
Gatorade, Bose. I mean, she's got a lot.
She's going to make a lot more off the court than she makes on the court.
Yes. But she could make $5 million playing in the Big Three. Are you up or down on the idea? What team would you want to see her on? What are the team names in the Big Three? We still got the
Bivouacs?
Bivouacs.
wow.
I think the Enemies is a team, right?
Power. Or am I mixing up my slam ball team names? Is it Power? I feel like Power was a team.
Power.
Give me the team names. Come on, give me the big three names.
I'm trying to load up Ice Cube's website here real quick. We got the Monsters, Three's Company, the Aliens, the Ball Hogs, the Bivouac, the Enemies, the Ghost Ballers, the Killer Threes, Power, Tri-State, Trilogy, and Triplets.
Oh, yeah, Trilogy and Triplets. I remember that.
Oh, wow, Trilogy and Triplets. Very similar.
Tri-State, Trilogy, Triplets, and Three's Company. Is this like a... Oh, and the Three-Headed Monsters.
That's 5 teams with reference to 3-on-3.
Respect.
That's what it is. What it is. All right. Let's hear from you guys. Thumbs up, thumbs down on all 4 of those up-down topics. Let's get to Tweet of the Night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Okay, so Tweet of the Night comes from an account that I said I was going to start following after they had a great tweet a couple weeks ago. And I did. I'm a man of my word. At NBA Crazy Stats had another tweet yesterday that caught my eye. Quote, the Grizzlies are on pace to become the most injured team in NBA history. So far this season, their players missed 467 games. The 2002-03 Raptors own the all-time record for games missed due to injuries with 480. So a few things. Good tweet, but I believe there's some errors.
Uh-oh.
Okay? At least according to my research. As of this morning, when you go to Spotrac, which follows these things, 17 Memphis Grizzly players have missed 451 games due to injury. So that's slightly different, though another 7 games missed due to personal reasons. Luke Kennard, Yuta Watanabe. So that's a total of 458. That's a little different. Now this, I believe, updated, actually, from when NBA Crazy Stats was pulling it for the Grizzlies. Point is, though, the Blazers are the next team with under 300 games missed due to injury. So
wow.
Memphis, huge gap, right? The next part of the tweet, though, about the Raptors, I think is also wrong. Because while the 2002-2003 Raptors had the most injury-riddled season by any team in NBA history, it was even more than 480 games. According to Raptors Republic, the 02-03 Raptors set the record for most man games missed due to injury with 519. They beat the Celtics record of 480 in 96-97. I think that's where that 480 came from. So, according to Raptors Republic, 02-03 Raptors, over 500 games missed due to injury. Some context. Lamont Murray didn't play a single game after suffering ligament damage in the preseason. Lindsey Hunter missed 53 games. Vince Carter missed 39 games. Antonio Davis missed 29 games. The Raptors were the only team in NBA history to not dress 12 players for a game. And man, oh man, 02-03 Raptors, Tass.
Oh,
maybe take a stab
Go.
at this. Maybe take a stab at this. We probably shared season tickets. No, maybe? No, not yet.
No,
yet.
you
Not
jumped
yet.
in
Not
later.
yet.
You
Not
jumped in
yet.
for a quick year at around 07, 08.
That's right. It was a little bit later. We were in college here still.
I was in there. I
You
was
were in there
there
with sets.
Oh, yeah, you better believe it.
Besides Vince Carter, who did play in 43 games and led the league in led the team in scoring at 20.6 points per game. Can you give me the next 4 guys on that Raptors team to score over 10 points per game?
In 02-03.
Yeah, and they played enough, obviously, to be on this list. You will...
Chris Childs.
No.
Morris Peterson.
There you go. Mo Pete averaged 14.1 points per game. He played in all 82.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Doug Christie. Probably not.
No.
02.
You're off on your team here because you named 2 guys that weren't on the team.
Yeah, they left.
Yeah.
They left in 02. It was a good series against the Detroit Pistons, but Chris Childs really pooched it, so he had to leave.
One guy I already named, I'm just going to say it, Antonio Davis did average
13.9
13.9 points per game in 53 games played.
Okay.
So you got 2 more guys here. I'm surprised you
Who
haven't
are
named the
these?
one guy. You love him. He's a Raptor sort of legend for not having really won anything, but he won a big one. Won one of the first ones. Series.
Alvin Williams.
Alvin Williams. Boogie himself.
Yeah, it's hard to tell
13.2.
because this was a gap year. This was a weird gap year.
And here's why I asked the question. Because this guy, outside of Vince, led the Raptors in scoring. 14.3 points per game. I just don't think you'd ever guess it.
Michael Bradley.
No. But I'm going to start giving you some
Alex
hints.
Radojevic.
No.
Not a chance.
This guy was a 3-point shooter. So I'll give
Sean
you.
Respert. No,
No.
way late.
No.
Dell.
No, not Dell. Not
Hubert Davis. Way late.
No.
Way late. 3-point
you're this guy's
Danielle Marshall?
No. Okay, this is a shooting guard. This guy's a shooting guard, 3-point shooter. He played for. I'm gonna give you a team. Played for Miami for a long time. Played for Denver for a couple years. In fact, played for Denver and had a gap year in Toronto. So he was there, and then he went back, and then he played for Portland at the end of his career, like barely at all.
Vashawn Leonard?
Ding, 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 ding! Vashawn Leonard.
Leonard. The original Leonard for the Raptors.
Leonard. I would love to hear Vashawn Leonard give us a laugh in a post-game or, I guess, pre-game press conference.
He was a Raptor.
Yeah,
nice.
That's forgettable.
Not only was he a Raptor, Trey, he led them in scoring outside of Vince. That's how bad they were.
This is a tough team, huh?
Yeah, a lot of injuries.
I'm glad I forgot some of those things. I was in the arena and watched those games, but I'm glad I forgot some of them.
Man.
But you said Sport Track was the site to track all these games missed?
Yeah.
They filled in. There was a great website. Where
it was was
games
it Man's Games Lost or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not updaed. I went and checked. Yeah.
More like website lost. It used to be good, man. It used to be a good website.
Anyway, good stuff. Good tweet from at NBA Crazy Stats. I just, a few things wrong, I believe. I mean, look, I could be wrong. Who knows? Somebody's going to fact check my fact check. It's Inception with this. But let's call it there. Fun show, man. Lots of games on, some fun up-down topics. Good tweet there. We got another show coming up if you're a Survivor fan. No spoilers here, Gourmet Spud. We're talking about episode 5 of last night's Survivor. Fun episode and lots to break down. TK, JD, and myself. 1 p.m. Eastern over on No Buffs. That link is in the show notes. We just hit 4,000 subscribers over on the YouTube page for No Buffs. Yeah, not bad. We got a great little community of Survivor diehards that join us live and people that listen and watch the show. So that's at 1 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow we're back for the Drop podcast. I didn't even check the schedule tonight. I guess March Madness is back.
2 games. 2 games on the schedule tonight.
Tess, I hope you got a worst of the week brewing.
Oh, yeah, it's tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like today's Thursday.
We got rapid fire.
For me.
We'll come up with some other things. Wow, only 2 games. What do we got?
We got Celtics at Hawks.
Oh, you're going down.
Yeah.
To the what? You don't want to go to the Fortress?
No, I'm new. I'm very excited. Going with family should be a really fun time, but the Hawks played last night. And the Celtics have been off since they blew a 30-point lead to the Hawks.
It's going to be a smack show.
It could be
another 30-point lead.
It's certainly possible.
Hey, you never know.
And then we got Milwaukee, New Orleans at night.
Okay.
Well, not really night. That starts at 8
Do we have a
7:30 Hawks, 8 o'clock New Orleans.
Oh, these aren't even on. Oh yeah, these are not even on TNT.
NBA TV for New Orleans.
Okay, yeah. March Madness,
That's
Sweet
right.
16, right?
Sweet 16.
Here we go. All right, we'll be back tomorrow to talk about the Sweet 16. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, we're just a couple hundred away from having 100K subscribers here on YouTube. I've got to say that now because I see people going away here on the live stream. It's the end of the show. People are clicking off. I got to get it in here. Just give a few clicks. You know, there's a computer over there. There's a computer over there in your house. Probably logged into something else. You can give us a few clicks. And I see LeBron and Redick's show has already got 1.1 million views. It was dropped this morning. It's number 4 in trending.
Jesus,
we don't even have 100 freaking thousand subs.
You got to sub. You got to sub. You got to sub. You got to sub. Everybody sub. We'll see you tomorrow. Embrace the day, people.